And finally, Russia's Republic of Dagestan is the jewel of the country's martial arts scene, with freestyle wrestling far and away the #1 sport. The area has produced numerous Olympic champions, boding well ahead of next year's London Games, as Roman Kosarev now reports.
Martial arts in Dagestan are not simply sports. For many young people, it's also a way of life. Perhaps that's the reason that the majority of Russia's national team consists of mostly Dagestani athletes.
Wrestlers from Dagestan have always been some of the top producers of silverware for Russia. Over the years, locals have provided dozens of Olympic medalists, including hundreds of the World and European Championships trophy winners. But first, a few words about this tiny republic in Russia's North Caucasus. Dagestan is the country's southernmost region on the coast of the Caspian Sea, bordering Azerbaijan and Georgia. It's also the country's most multi-ethnic area, where 14 languages are considered native, with the Russian one uniting over 30 different cultures and nationalities. Local legend has it that when Allah's messenger was handing out languages, there was a severe snowstorm in Dagestan, causing him to dump all he had left. When the weather settled, people came out of their homes and each settlement spoke a different tongue.
Dagestan is wonderful and unique, and we are proud of our country, our history and our culture. We are a multi-ethnic republic with more than 30 peoples living together at a comparatively small territory. We have a glorious history and we are looking into the future.
However, it's not just legends and beauty that make this region stand out in Russia. Combat sports, especially freestyle wrestling, seem to be the republic's forte, and the locals themselves will probably tell you that it's in their blood.
People live and breathe wrestling in Dagestan. It's a way of life, and sometimes even the meaning of it. Dagestan has always helped Russia step up from 17th or 18th place to 2nd or 3rd. Just take a look at the Olympic Games statistics. That's why I believe that Dagestan deserves not only this World Cup, but the World and European Championships as well. And FILA President Rafael Martinetti supports this too, as long as the entire infrastructure is in place.
Russia and Dagestan in particular is a true world center for developing of freestyle wrestling. Over the years, this region's produced 41 world and 11 Olympic champions. So the holding of a World Cup here in Makhachkala for the very first time is a true recognition of the major Dagestani contribution to this sport.
The advancement of wrestling in Dagestan and Russia as a whole doesn't simply rest on the locals' sheer enthusiasm. An international program called Fight and Win has been launched in Russia, with the sport's global promotion being just one of the objectives. However, Russian athletes are not sole benefactors of this initiative, as the up-and-coming wrestling nations enjoy financial, technical and training support through this very program.
The Fight and Win program has been our key plan of action at the Wrestling Federation of Russia since 2006. It was initiated by Senator Suleiman Karimov, who chairs the Federation's Board of Trustees. We have presented a plan of action up to the year 2020 to Vladimir Putin. Our wrestlers had a meeting and a training session with him, and he highly evaluated the results of the program.
Russia's Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, who's no stranger to martial arts, having competed in judo back in the 1970s, understands the athletes' needs and objectives. After all, wrestling in Russia's Caucasus is not just a way to occupy the kids' and young adults' free time. The Fight and Win program also provides for some major sport infrastructure development across the board, with a post-construction commercial schedule already in place. And that means jobs in a region where they're in highest demand. Well, last but certainly not the least is the pride of the country.
Our team is as international as it gets. We have guys from Georgia, Abkhazia, Ossetia, all North Caucasian republics, Siberia and from St. Petersburg as well. And all of you are working together for one goal, for the interests of Russia. And you're doing a great job. Thank you, guys. You are the pride of the country. We always watch your performances, root for you and await your victories.
The venues at wrestling events in Dagestan are usually packed to the rafters. There are always people sitting even in the aisles and plenty more outside begging to get in. And that's because people of Dagestan know their wrestling, and it doesn't matter whether the athletes from Russia, Cuba, Iran or Hungary. A good performance will always be cheered. This fact alone makes this small republic a perfect candidate for future grand wrestling events. Roman Kosarev, RT, Russia's Republic of Dagestan.